I'm Morgan, and today I want to talk about why I worry that Social Security is unsustainable in the long run. So, with Social Security, people who are working pay into that, and the money that they pay into it is what pays for the people who cannot work, so the elderly and people with disabilities. And I do think it's wonderful to help out and look after the vulnerable in our society. But we do have the issue of if there are less workers over time and more people who are retired or disabled or cannot work, then there could be a situation where there's more and more and more people drawing from Social Security and not as much money going into that. And so that could eventually cause some issues, some very major issues, especially because, there's a cost of living type crisis, and people who are my age, like I'm in my mid-20s, my parents had me by the age that I am now, but I'm still living at home. My significant other has multiple roommates. People of my generation are struggling to afford things like housing, let alone like getting married and settling down and having children, because no one wants to raise children in poverty. And so we have the younger generation who are struggling money-wise, just not having children as young as maybe we would have in previous generations, or not having as many children as previous generations. And so there's going to be less workers down the line to pay into that system. And you can't just tax the workers more, because if you do that, that's going to increase the cost of living issues, and so you'll have even less incentive for young people to have kids, because people who can't afford children don't want children. People don't want to raise their children in poverty. They want a better life for their children than they themselves had. That's supposed to be the American dream, that we're supposed to want better lives for future generations than we ourselves had. And so there is this issue that at some point you're not going to have enough money going to Social Security to pay for the people who need to draw from Social Security. And I think that one potential way to solve that issue would be more legal immigration. But I unfortunately don't see that happening. So yeah. And I mean, I also think it's important to keep in mind that there was a concern at one point that the world was becoming overpopulated, and so there was a cultural shift, I think, surrounding that, where there are concerns from that I think have continued on to the current day, where there are people who are not wanting to have children because of concerns about, like, what's the word, not global warming, climate crisis, and oh my god, are we all gonna die? So I think there are still remnants of that shaping the culture. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it's something that I think needs to be talked about. Like, I don't think Social Security is sustainable in the long run, and I also honestly think that a lot of the concerns of people freaking out about the birth rate, it's because of Social Security. I don't think it's just people being racist. I think it's politicians realizing, hey, if the old people who've paid into Social Security all their lives suddenly stop getting that, then there's going to be probably riots and revolution, and they don't want that. They want to keep their jobs. So yeah, I wanted to give my opinions on that. And do be aware, I'm a Libertarian Party member, so my opinions might be shaped by that. And I hope you all have a great day.